I'm here if anybody came in. Oh, hi. Hey, Azure and Beck. Joycey. Well, it's official. The time changed, so I've lost my excuse for cocooning that I always do every year from Christmas to late February, early March. That's pretty much daylight savings time, but Sarah died on Christmas Day and her birthday is February 18th. So that pretty well covers that span. Not that I get in the dumps about it, but I've just always kind of liked to cocoon in the winter, and I'm going to have to quit. Yesterday, I walked a mile with Randy. He said it wasn't a mile, but in my book, it was a mile. He had carpal tunnel surgery, and so he can't handle 3 leads and 3 dogs who do this, And I know I got to get out and walk. I know that, but I hate it. I absolutely hate physical activity. So, what y'all been doing? I guess I better get my phone ready. Okay, there we are. We are live. And I've been sitting in my big old chair shopping. Oh, I know, Beck. I had mine. It was interesting. I had the 2-shot series, so it was the first shot I got with my pneumonia shot. Good Lord, I could hardly use my arm. I said Sarah's birthday was February 18th. Get it in a minute. I'm trying to type some. Okay, coupon code. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Rain. How you doing, darling? Your video the other day looked great. My part is like have a facing camera because my face is so fat. I look like Humpty Dumpty. Okay, y'all notice that coupon I just typed in? I'm part of the Robyn McClendon's Jelly team, and we're basing our intuitive journals on printables that we put together from collages that I've done or, whatnot. And so we put them all together, and sometimes they're in a group, say like 7 of them, 7 to 10 for $5 or $6.50. Individual sheets on my site are $1. Excuse me. So I had to rework all that this last week. I've been doing computer work, so I've not been laying around doing nothing. Anyway, I thought I would give y'all a coupon. It's good for a week, and it's $5 coupon. It's on my website, so you don't have to worry about mailing lists or anything like that. Safe and secure, just like everything PayPal and Stripe do for every other site. So perfectly safe. Well, you're not going to give any money. So anyway, I would appreciate your feedback. Some of these I've had for 5 years maybe. And like circles, I was going to go back and make sure they fit an Avery label circle. And I thought better of it. Thought, a 1-inch punch is a whole lot better. And then you don't have all those little sticky things all over your studio. So that's that. Any questions? Yeah, and Humpty Dumpty had real skinny legs, and I do too. So I, as long as I wear, what are they called? Things from Walmart, and I love those things. And then a long shirt, I feel like I'm skinny. You can tell it bothers me a lot. Y'all go over to Rachel's and sign up for her YouTube videos. The girl has a store in her studio. It makes mine look like the craft section at Goodwill. You can click on her face right there in the chat and give her some love because she's just started doing lives. All right, I think we got enough folks here. I told you I've been shopping. Oh, wait a minute, let me show you this one first. This is my new iPhone case. Y'all, this thing is awesome. $10. And the strap will let it sit up or let it sit up lower, which depending on which way you put it. You can hold your phone like this if you're wanting to type one finger, and a hook up here. I mean, for $9 or $10, this thing is great. It's silicone. So that's one of my new goodies. Thought y'all might like to see that. Now, everybody has these, but Vicki had to have them too. Let me find something white that I can. I'll never get that out of my mind. Washi tape. It looks like the stamps that we already have, but for no more money than a couple bucks, it's worth it. Okay, so there's that washi tape. I got a shipment from China yesterday, and you'll be proud of us. We opened it very carefully, shook it out on the floor, and sprayed Lysol spray over it. So I have not opened. You kind of don't ever know what you're going to get, but it's always fun. Looks like I got some little bitty clear stickers, which I'm not sure why I got these. I watched Rachel the other day, and she held it right flat up under the camera and got it to focus pretty good. I don't know what these are. I don't remember ordering them because I would never have ordered a squid. Maybe it was a freebie. Deco stickers. Does not ring a bell. Okay, well, we've got deco stickers now. I can't get that kazoo song out of me. Okay, now this is more like it. This looks like what I would have ordered. Some small stickers, tickets, and stuff like that. So what we're working on is called Passport Series, to look like it might be a passport that's old and vintage and it's been all the way around the world. Here's some more little tags. Oh, and here's that paper. This is brown onion skin. Well, I got the wrong thing. I guess this is printed. Well, it's a pad. There's one that is a bigger one. Oh, they're plain, just the top. But it's onion skin and has a little bit of a stripe. I was fixing to get upset. You can barely see it. There. Look at that beautiful picture. I would rather have bigger pieces, and perhaps I can find some. Okay, where are we now? Okay, this came. And these, you can get these on Amazon too. Rachel, I think you just got them. I got mine on Alley. I don't know what the cost difference was, but I like to support the Chinese. This is just some wide washi tape with lines. And this one's just kind of grungy looking, torn, kind of like everything in my house. And then this one is checkerboard. So those will be fun. The Halloween sticker. It's apropos. Now, y'all know that I paint first. Used to be paint first and then mixed media. And now it's mixed media first and paint. Let me check to see what y'all are talking about. Hi, Gail. Nancy. Yeah, well, I'm a funny girl. But I did take care to make sure that packages, any virus in those packages was dead. Okay, so this is something that I have wanted to have in my arsenal since I started painting, because a lot of my research in my early days was on, the traditional forms of art. And Casein, it's Casein. Nate, remember my lessons. I'll repeat them in case y'all forgot. The dry pigment that you buy, to make your watercolors with. Some of y'all made your own watercolors and stuff. That pigment is the very same whether you put oil in it to make oil paint, or you put gum arabic in it to make watercolor. You with me? And soft pastels is the same, except a binder that is a little bit different. It's a gum binder, but it allows the stick to hold together in a stick form. Powder, you can form it, but it's very little of that. And then the next two, let's see, encaustic, same pigment, just mixed with wax for a binder. This is Casein is mixed with a milk emulsion. So you, in decorating from time to time, you'll hear milk paint. And the milk paint that on old furniture, you cannot get rid of it. I mean, it's on there forever. Well, that's basically what this is with artist pigment. So it looks a lot like gouache, kind of a matte finish. It is water soluble until it cures, and then it's permanent. You can make your own with the emulsion. And now the next one that I want to try, and I will one of these days. The reason I haven't is because it's very nitpicky, and that's egg tempera. And that is the same powdered pigment, and it's mixed with an egg yolk. It's impervious to almost everything. So the Jack Richardson Company has contests and stuff like that, which I never enter because the person that's having the contest is the one that makes the money. But this crossed in front of me, and it was $150 worth of free materials if I promised I would enter a competition in May. So I got that, I got a panel, and I got 2 brushes. I bought the emulsion separate, and I bought a bigger tube of white. It kind of, people say it kind of reminds them of oil paint, so I ought to be in good shape there. So we've got that to play with if we choose. And I was kind of bad on this one. And I keep losing the little things. I got one of these. Where is it? Damn it. There it is. This is one of my collage pages. Come on. Printed on this little printer. And this is part of one. Either that or it's one that it was in my small book. And I painted these. Okay, so what they look like, I'll show you in a minute. I also got, I mean, if y'all know me, I don't like consumable stuff because sure as you get all wrapped up and fall in love with it, you're going to quit supplying it. So here is a translucent label paper. The printer only prints in black. It does not have any toner cartridges whatsoever, ink cartridges. All it is a roll of special paper. And this is thermal paper. It's specially treated. So when it runs through the little machine, I'm sure it gets warm or something to expose the thermal. So it's like receipts that you get at the grocery store, except the special paper. And I guess their paper does too, if you want to get right down to it. It's probably the paper. It's in the paper, not in. Now, this one is black and white only, and that's why I decided to see if I could add color, which you can. Come on. And I used my Peerless watercolors, not for any reason other than Peerless was designed in the 1800s to tint photographs. And even up until the 1950s, I can remember Olin Mills would have that little tinting on the face and stuff like that. So anyway, yes, you can add color. Gel pens, maybe, you know, almost anything would work, or not. You don't have to do anything. So it runs. I lost my phone. Let me find something to print. I'm still having to, oh, and I've cleaned up a lot of my pictures, my images. I had something like 100,000 that weren't sorted. So the only ones I could find were the ones that were new. I used to be a designer. Every picture was labeled and in its folder. Oh, I got to turn this on. I could give y'all a treat with John Singer Sargent's masterpiece where he painted a nude man. That's one of the few men he painted. Now, don't go all PP on me. This is art. And if I could paint like John Singer Sargent's, I would paint PPs all day long. Okay, find a picture. I'm in rare form today. Come on. See, I'm an artist first, so peepees do not bother me. I do remember my first live, though. I mean, my first live model. Okay, I'm going to print this. I did this layout a couple weeks ago. I don't have to do anything but select the printer. It is connected, so hit another button and print, and then there it goes. That is amazing. And of course, doing it that small, where's the face? There it is. I had it upside down. No wonder it didn't look like a face. I mean, it reduces it and prints it. You saw it. I mean, it was instant. As fast as the information could get there. So it's Bluetooth, has a rechargeable battery. I sound like I'm selling them, making money off of them. It's all Robyn's fault because they asked her to review it for them. And I love cute little things. I'll show you inside. I'm just fascinated. It did take me 30 minutes to learn how to put the paper back in because I am challenged. Very much like a grocery store receipt printer. That's it. Cool, huh? Now, get y'all back on the phone. I had some credits. There's a 10% discount if you go to the company. And the company name is, it's really strange, but it's easy when you realize why. PHOMEMO.com. It's FOMEMO, which is short for photograph memo. Okay, so FOMEMO, that'll help you remember it. Calm. I think they have a 10% discount, and there's a 5% discount on Amazon. And I had some credits, so I got mine for $75. I think they're $99 to begin with. But I think it's going to be worth it because it's so convenient just to have it sitting right here. Uh-oh. Was I sitting back? I mean, right up on camera. Yeah, you figured that out. Okay, am I still live? I'm still live. I'm in StreamYard, and it's a perfect screen over here, which means it's in the transmission between StreamYard and YouTube. Is it better? Better? Hi, Kitty. It's just a thermal printer. You can search for mini printers, pocket printers. I decided, have you ever heard of iZink? IZINK? I had, and I thought it was just some kind of a novelty. It's been on the market for several years. I decided not to get a color one because the consumables are a lot more expensive for color than they are for black and white. I mean, like enough that you would not just print a couple of things and give them to your buddies, like 50 cents a piece or so, where this is just pennies. Faux memo, yes, photograph memo. Now, in my network is fine. It's huge pipe. And as long as it's perfect on StreamYard, if there is any problem, it is usually in the between StreamYard and YouTube. And actually have a whole lot less problems with YouTube when StreamYard goes through than I do when you go straight to YouTube. And and try to link up. I don't know why. StreamYard probably pays for a big pipe. Okay. Well, memo. Anyway, I think it's a cool thing. And I did go ahead and get the transparent paper. I don't remember how much it was, but there were 4 rolls, and that'll last a lifetime. All right. So now we're all on the same page. And what do I want to do? Let's do, let me move this out of the way. Let's do a little bit of journaling. The hashtag for the new group is hashtag, let me type it in here. I didn't hit return to get that web up there. Hello. Hashtag Robyn's, no apostrophe, jelly team. Come on now. There you go. Rachel Soul Rain is on it, and me and Patti, Tolley, Parrish, and Kory from Archaeology, and Robyn. So Robyn will be putting out a kit of printables every month that you can buy for $6.50, and then we will be using those printables with our own through the month, just to show you how we all work with the same patterns. Up earlier, I put a link. My printables, I'm giving you a $5 coupon, good for a week. You can download whatever you want in the printables aisle. Blue light special. I've got some new ones in there from some of my newer work, and then I've got some older ones. I've got the postcards that I showed y'all last week from the vintage postcards. I've got the pictures from Takeo, my mother-in-law's miso factory book where the Japan Emperor visited. I've got those as a group. I'm not sure what else I've done, but I've done a lot of that in the last week. I've been being lazy. Okay, so I'm going to move this out. And we might paint a girl. Oh, here's something else I got. Forgot. Clay World. The Art Clay World has been doing these unmounted stamps for, I guess, ever. So anyway, I like the overall pattern. I like the bits and pieces of it. So anyway, that's new. That's it. I don't have no more new. No more new. All right, books. Are there any questions before we get started? Hi, Gail. No questions? Okay. But I mean, I could just take a picture and straight to that little printer and have a little stamp. I just think that's cool. It's the coolest thing I've seen in a while. Last week I showed you guys my shellac Scotch tape. I wish it was my original idea. It's Rosemary Morris. And then she sprinkled some alcohol ink on hers. It didn't make as much of an impact as the shellac. And this is the shellac. I get it at the hardware store. Amber is the color that makes it look like that. It's not sticky when it dries. It does not wash out with soap and water. I've still got some on my fingernails, which is, you know, I always walk around. It looks like I've got dirt under my fingernails, but believe you me, I don't get outside and sweat and garden. So this. Rosemary told me hers was clean up with soap and water. The cans, my can says, and it's the same can, my can says alcohol or ammonia and water, which I would rather smell a nasty bathroom than ammonia. So I just used baby wipe and let it wear off. Next time I will put some gloves and a bottle on. But that's that. I will say that this is the sponge I used, and I just squeezed it out in my water container over here, and it's not stiff at all. Okay, got that. So anyway, that's that. And here we are, brand new page, brand new week. Don't have the luxury of laying around anymore because it's officially spring. I'm so bad about my chair that I actually had all my new Casein all rigged up in there in my chair where I could try it out there. Okay, quit talking. I'm going to use something that I've had forever. I don't know if y'all remember this from a couple years ago, the Pebeo Studio Acrylics and Metallics. Heather Crafter was big promoting these, and of course, you know, everybody had to buy some of them. I don't know that they're any better or any different than the craft paint we've been using. There's a paint booger. That's enough. That if I could stick it in the paint, maybe we would use that. Okay, I'm just going to, I'm going to do book pages the same. Decisions, decisions. Credit card. I cut a slit in this card, and it's given me some different looks. See? Cool. But would anybody like to help me with comments? I can beam you in with a link. May not be that many, but you never know. Okay, I'm going to save those and I'm going to use them. Yeah, we'll let that dry. Isn't that a beautiful color? Pretty, pretty, pretty. Drink water. Yeah, that hubby of mine, Rachel mentioned his meds. He wasn't even going to fill it. I said, yeah, let's fill it in case you get up in the middle of the night and you want to cut your hand, chew your arm off. He took one pill and that's it. He's out running around today just like nothing happened to him. I'd still be milking it in my chair, get the most attention I can. I used to say that my cocooning in the winter was, it is normal. I mean, it's cocooning for me, except for the obvious Sarah. It's a way for me to recharge my batteries for art. And it's the funniest thing because about this time of the year, the fog lifts and I have some new ideas for working. And I'm fired up and ready to go. I don't want the napkin again. I'm just looking to see what I've got on my desk over here. I'm going to put the link to this while I'm thinking about it. Copy the Here's the link. If anybody wants to be the moderator on the chat. So I didn't want that. This is all the bits and scraps of the echo dyeing I did at Rosemary's. Summer before last. We kind of screwed up and didn't get any this year. I don't know why either, but hey, the good news is I got back to Rosemary now. I didn't go in the winter because it got dark before I got home, and I don't drive after dark. Look at the back of that. Isn't that cool? This bluish color is the road watercolor. So anyway, I would have to make sure that Pam, my friend in Springdale who likes to go, wanted to go. And Rosemary's been sitting down there going, I'm lonesome. I need somebody to play with. So I can go now by myself. These are for future postcards. I see somebody pop up. Hey, Ian.
Hello.
Microphone? No, I don't want to mute.
No. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Let me turn up my volume. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Hi, Ian.
Hello.
It's been a while since I've talked to you.
Busy like you know what you were just saying about well, I call it hibernating. Of a winter period, because I find that a period of time that I just don't get an awful lot done. Creatively speaking, I hibernate, and during that time, and that's the time where I rebuild myself ready for next year.
I think it's good for your soul. And a lot of times when I come back to life in March, I've got a path of things that I want to explore. I'm a big experimenter. I mean, I don't experiment, but I start new projects like the Casein. That'll hold my interest for several months, along with this stuff.
Oh yeah, it's something I've wanted to have a go at for many, many years that I never got round to it. But there aren't that many manufacturers of Casein, though, are there?
Right. You can buy
specialized.
Yeah, you can buy the emulsion from quite a few places. I think Creamer has it, Sonalia, and some of the ones like that, and you can make your own from powder, or you can use water.
Well, you can, yeah. I mean, it's such a basic paint that you can actually make it yourself.
Yeah,
and it's been known to last for thousands of years.
Right. It's old.
It's that good. That's one of the first paints they ever had.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
You know, paints. I don't know whether egg tempera were used in art before that. I'm not sure.
Oh, I think it was about the same time.
Because you know, milk paint, it were basically for painting the houses and things like that, like a whitewash. That's what they used to do. They used to get the milk and they used to get some what do they call it? Limestone. Crush that up, mix it together, and that way you whitewash for your house or your hut or whatever you lived in.
I think that's fascinating. And the thing that amazes me even more than that is that around 1700s, 1600s maybe, that they had desire to do something like that and figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even great artists, it weren't unknown for them to just pick up raw materials and make their own brushes and make their own paint and make their own whatever.
They had to. There wasn't anywhere else to do it.
There were the odd occasional artisan paint making companies, but they were monstrously expensive during Renaissance period. But normally, most artists made everything themselves.
I posted something on my Facebook page last week that was about Rembrandt, as I started doing silver point a long time ago. And I found the article was about Rembrandt and how they made their own ground with, they would spit on their finger and wipe it in some kind of chalk, and that would make the surface to hold the silver point.
It's funny you should talk about silver point, because my wedding ring is made of silver, and it looked like it needed a bit of a buffing. So I thought, I wonder whether I can actually do a drawing and like clean it at the same time. And it did. It actually cleaned it.
I got a silver spoon. We brought some back from. I'm looking for my glue stick. We brought some back one time when we were in France. Some silver, from a flea market. It's not there because I haven't looked.
It's really funny.
And I used to actually see these bracelets. I was wearing those one day, sitting outside reading an art book. It was a nice paper book, and I looked down and I thought, somebody has written all over this book. So I finally figured out it was these, and then I was disappointed to find out I didn't invent it.
That's why they say you shouldn't really have two different. If you ladies, you have like an engagement ring and a wedding ring. That's why they say you shouldn't really have two rings that are not the same type of thing, because they can rub off on one another just by sheer movement.
She's wrestling. I've got to get a glue stick.
So let's have a look, see what it says. So people are saying hi to Gertie.
I am so glad you guys are here. Now I lost my phone. There it is. It's hiding.
Crafting with Gertie says, Ian, you're a Yorkshire lad. Yes, I am, from Barnsley in South Yorkshire. What have we got? Able to rejoice on me. I don't know what that says. You guys laugh when I say spit. I don't know what that means. Not a clue.
And I am hearing challenged, so I have trouble hearing Alex. I have to focus when Ian's talking. That's my fault.
I'll try to use my Queen's English as best I can then.
We've got a large Hispanic population here. And they'll talk to me and say something, and I just look at them with the dumbest look on my face. Randy says she's deaf. Phonetically, she's deaf.
Well, nearest I get to Spanish is hola. So, wait a minute, sangria. I know that word as well.
This piece of tissue is the back of one of the layers of the napkin I used last week, and I was experimenting to see if I could make it coffee dye, and I did. It worked. It's very fragile.
Right.
Always put something over something fragile, or actually anything, because when any paper gets wet, it's a little more fragile. Put something over it, like just a blank sheet or a trash sheet or something like that. Okay. I'm starting. I'm not really, I don't have a plan.
I'll just think, reminiscing, you were using that shellac. That were one of the first chemicals I ever used when I left school, because when I did my sign writing, we had to use shellac to stabilize the wood as a primer.
Well, they used to be all the time as a finish.
Yeah. But what it is proper shellac is a natural wood resin. So
do you know why it's called shellac?
I don't know actually. I probably did learn it, but it's probably in a book somewhere that I forgot.
It's from a female lac bug. Lac.
All right.
I don't know if that's really true, but I do know it's from the shellac bug, the female. So
it might be, because there are a lot of I think that's probably where it originated from, yeah. Because that does ring a bell. So,
I'm a veritable fist of useless knowledge.
No, it's not useless knowledge. We need to know where things come from and originate. And then if somebody says something that's not right, we can go, actually, that's the correct answer to that one, isn't it?
This is one of Robyn's printables that she put together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think she still got some free on her website. She was going to give away 500 packs. I think it's got 8 sheets in it.
And that well, I would call that a straight edge. But that ruler that you've got there is taking me back as well, because that used to be what they used to use, because it's got like that raised edge on bottom of it. That was made for people who did drafting, because when they had old pens, if the pen touched the ruler and you pulled the ruler away too fast, it left an horrible like line in it. So they figured out that if they raised the ruling edge off of the ground a little bit, that wouldn't happen, and that's how you got those what you've got there. Now some of them do have rulers on them, but I don't think they're supposed to be meant for that. I think they're more to do with getting a straight line and a straight edge.
Robyn uses these because it gives you can't really see the rough edge, but it's on edge, it will glue down better and meld into another piece better. So that's the reason she tears more than she cuts.
All right. I suppose I've got all sorts of different applications, haven't they? So crafting with Gertie, she's confirming that she lives near me. I shall be stalking her quite soon.
That's cool. I've never been to England.
You don't want to at the moment. It's honestly bitter cold today. Very, very. It's been really windy. If any of you go onto my video, what I recorded last night, it was windiest day at year, and all you can hear is like wind going. I'm having to battle against wind.
70 degrees here today.
Oh, 70 degrees.
And I think it's supposed to be cold again tomorrow.
I don't think we even get that high ever. 70 degrees.
I'm going to use this Stays On. These are my new loves. This MIDI pad. The colors are fabulous. And all I'm doing, I'm not grunging the edge. I'm just touching the edge with ink. And it's wicking its way into that torn edge. See if I can get that. Rachel got, there it is. Rachel's great.
Do you know what? One of my crafting gurus said that if you tear it a particular direction, it works better.
What?
If you tear it in a particular direction, it works better. I don't know whether that's true or not, because I'm not a crafter, you see. So, yeah.
but it just wicks right into that raw paper that I tore.
So, just as I was starting to get my head round crafting and things like that, all our craft shops shut.
Well, I got into mixed media to help me loosen up on my painting because my painting is so realistic. It's not photorealistic, but
No.
I just wanted to learn how to relax, and it has helped.
But yeah, but introducing other mediums that have got less control, do you mean?
Well, just getting familiar with just putting something down without worrying about whether it's perfect or not.
Gail's just said, from the sedentary position of being in a nice warm place. What, Ian? You never have a summer. We don't. You're right. Well, we have this 2-week period where it gets reasonable. I'm on about like we're down to us short sleeve shirts and us shorts. But that's that you have that 2 weeks, and if bad weather comes in at that time, that's it. Your summer's over.
Oops, I put the glue on the wrong damn side. Oh well, I guess it was meant to be here.
Oh, that's it. Don't stick your hand to it though.
This is the velour paper from Anna Griffin. And
I saw some. Sorry, go.
It came in a pack, probably 100 sheets. I think it was around $20. They're 6 by 8.
I saw something very similar to that, but it were on like almost like a roll of like wallpaper, but not it weren't. It were like gift wrapping paper, and what one end. Bottom part of it was plain and the top were raised, and it had satin on it. You could feel it. Is that what that is? Does it have like a raised edge?
Yes, the powdery.
Oh, is it powdery?
Like velvet.
Yeah, like a velvet. Yeah, as though it's like a velvet dress or a curtain or. Yeah, and it was really nice that, and I put it away somewhere. And can I find it when I need it? No. The curse of the crafter.
Yep. My studio used to be straight and oils in one corner and pastels in another and watercolor here, and it's not that way anymore. It looks like a trash heap. Looks like Sanford and Sons live here.
Now, Gail's getting back to me and saying, "Oh, my Ian, I had no idea." As in, she didn't know that we only had 2 weeks of hot weather. In saying that, it is mild throughout the year. I mean, we don't get some of the extremes you guys get in America. Very rarely, anyway. But then again, you're a massively huge country, though, aren't you? So you're going to have extremes of weather. Because you're a continent in your own right. So.
Well, this continent right now is in a mess of trouble.
Oh, I don't even want to go. Listen, I don't even want to go there. I don't say that about America specifically. It's just this world generally is in a mess. It's a real mess.
Everybody get your. I told Rachel the other day her craft supplies are off site, away from home. I said you need to pack up and get ready to self quarantine, just in case. Mine's right
here. I'm in a bit of a panic because one of my major supplies that I need for doing my art is running out fast.
Ooh.
Toilet paper. How am I going to survive without toilet paper if everybody's got a board for wiping the backsides? How am I supposed to get any paper for doing me arts and crafts?
Sears catalog. Oh, I forgot. They haven't made those in a while. They're low here. I'm right in the
I tell you what. I tell you what. I remember at school when we had school toilet roll paper, and if you've ever known anything about English toilet roll paper at school, it's like that deli paper that's really like greaseproof paper. It will like that. Oh, but anyway, I thought you guys in America were all technological and you have them squirty things in your toilets.
No.
What do they call them?
I remember. Oh, that's a bidet. That's French, isn't it?
A bidet. Yeah, I thought that were. I thought all you super rich American people have them.
I remember an outhouse. Don't get me old.
So anyway, let's see what we've got. It's we've read that one. Gail, are you in the UK? I don't believe Gail is in the UK. I think she's in America, I believe. So, then Gail says Rolf, Ian. Then we've got Desertanana. Smiley face for free leaf clover. Too bad you aren't a paper crafter, Ian. You should use the white please of the napkins. You can use that. Do you know what I found? I don't know how you feel about this, but I found basic plain toilet roll, right? You know, the simple 2-ply toilet roll with no pattern on it or anything like that. You know, the real basic stuff. Better at doing the job than some of these really, you know, the kitchen. No, I don't mean for toilet. I mean for
Crafts?
for dabbing up on your watercolors.
Ah.
You know when you're lifting
Right.
paint off of the surface. I find the cheap basic toilet paper better than some of these like kitchen towels that are 5 or 6 times more expensive, and say, oh, totally absorbent, blah 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 blah.
For those of you who don't know, Ian and I met through Heather Crafter, I believe.
Yeah. Excuse me.
And he is more of a watercolorist. We may get him yet on crafts. One thing about it, if we stay quarantined very long, we can use trash.
Oh yeah.
I had the biggest time doing a charcoal painting on piece of cardboard, because the vertical lines, and you peel part of that first layer off and leave the corrugated part. It was fun. Okay, now where are we?
Oh, Crafting with Gertie has just brought back a. I don't know if you guys in America will be able to visualize this, but we in our area of England, we used to have these things called outside toilets, and when you mean outside toilet, we meant outside toilet. And we used it was like a second toilet just in case the first one were being used, like an emergency toilet. So she just reminded us of the fact that we used to have to do that at one time of day. Go to outside toilet. Oh, freezing cold middle at night. Oh, dear me. I'm sure you might have had something similar back in the day.
Y'all, listen to him, y'all.
Gail says, yes, in the heartlands of the USA. I don't know what she's referring to there. And we've got Azia Muse with us, somebody we all know. Says,
Hey, Azure.
That's ridiculous. Ugg roll. Is that? Do you know what? My dyslexia is hurting me bad today. Uggs roll off the toilet paper. We're talking a lot about toilet paper today, aren't we? It might be because there's a world toilet paper shortage and everybody's like panicking now. I mean, I don't know whether everybody knows about this. This is a really funny story. Well, it isn't funny because it's a serious matter. But the other day I went into my local town on the local bus service and it was full of people. Came back home with all my shopping that I needed. And I thought I'll buy myself a packet of sweets, treat myself for a change. And I'm sucking on this sweet. And unfortunately, some of the juice went down my throat and went down my windpipe. So I instantly started coughing. And everybody on bus turned around and looked at me as if to say I was some spreader of disease. Like, no, I'm choking. I'm choking. Nobody come up and actually help me out and, pat me on the back and stop me from
Dying.
Yeah, that would have been really funny to see if I'd have just like fallen on the floor and collapsed on the floor because I was choking, and everybody thought that I was dying from coronavirus, and I just fell on the floor and died.
I want to add something here. I put down the wrong side of the pink velour paper.
Oh.
And then going through my stash, I just accidentally found some of Robyn's papers with that color. So don't be afraid to let your mind tell you what to pick up. Don't overwork it. So that's my lecture there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other thing I was going to print the printables. I print these on a real thin onion skin. Mine is an old second sheet ream from a legal firm. Mm-hmm. And they're really nice, transparent, semi-transparent, so that your layers do show up from underneath. And that's an important thing to know. And don't forget, I put a free coupon for y'all to get some of my downloadables. Actually.com, AXUALLY. And that is Arkansas phonetic for actually. So there you have it.
So Azure and Gail, yeah, that's what they're called, outhouses. You're saying that outhouses are sometimes places where you'd keep your, I don't know, your lawnmower or some of your gardening tools and things like that. So they're not, outhouses are not always the outside toilet, but yeah, that's what they sometimes call them. So what else have we got? Gail, that's all my grandpa in MN used. What's that? MN? I assume that's an abbreviated term for a certain place in America. I don't know.
I'm putting this printable is from one of my little collages I did in my book. Let me show you. This is my little book. It's this one. And this printable is on bond paper. So just give you an idea what it looks like blown out. And it doesn't matter if the colors match. This is taken photo with my phone and straight to the inkjet printer.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I do believe a while ago, you know what, one of those little printers that you've got, I believe I saw something advertised. It might be a couple of years ago now, actually. It were a miniature scanner. It literally had a scanner at the bottom of it. And then and you give it a couple of seconds to compute it all, and then it spat out a picture at top of it of whatever it were that you'd scanned. And it were like a miniature printer scanner.
Yeah, I've seen those.
But they were very expensive at the time. It were new technology, I think, at the time. Like, but
one of my printable packs is on the Boro. This is the Japanese, the way they mended their clothing back probably 1700s, 1800s. One of the little islands didn't have access to new fabrics. So they would just take scraps and mend their work clothes with scraps on top of scraps. And now it's an art form.
Yeah, there's very elaborate special dresses that they can get with these patches, isn't there? I have actually seen them. Let's have a look. Cut up newspaper for toilet paper. And we're still on this theme of toilet papers. I think that's stuck for the night now, isn't it? That's a contribution from.
We'll blame you with that one.
Crafting with Goethe. Oh no, Ian, Rolf, I bet they didn't. Did you use your elbow to cover your mouth? No, just let it flow.
Oops.
Desert Nana. Oh no, what's that? Flush face and then laughing face. They're emojis, obviously. As you muse, I can make a TP suggestion to your all microfiber cloth, like 5420. Yeah, do you know what? I know you ladies will appreciate this. Many moons ago, in a galaxy far, far away, when babies had nappies, what did they have? Prior to what you call diapers.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I know when I get there.
They used to have little cotton nappies, didn't they? That you'd wash.
Some people use them. They're supposedly more expensive, but they're easier on the environment.
But I just thinking somebody's just said here, well, if push came to shove, we could use like reusable cloths. Well,
now I got these on Amazon. They're cotton diapers, all natural. They're soft, 100% cotton. So I've got a set of those I use a lot.
I mean, to be frank, I mean, it's not going to be a problem for me because I've not got enough food supplies in anyway. So I'll starve to death before it becomes a toilet problem. So it's as simple as that.
I'm lucky. I'm married to a Renaissance man who can hunt and fish and keep us fed that way and cook it. That's an important part.
Well, yeah, I suppose, because you don't know what bugs are going to be inside them, because poor old animals, apparently they are being infected by it as well. I've now renamed it anyway. Now it's called the Zumba apocalypse. It's a Zumba apocalypse. I said to somebody, it's a bit like the zombie apocalypse, and it Google decided that it wanted to play tricks on me with words and all that sort of stuff, and it came out the Zumba apocalypse. And I'm wondering why everybody's like laughing at me. I'm thinking, what? Why? And then I looked up and it said Zumba apocalypse rather than zombie apocalypse. Oh well, I will rely on computer technology. Right, so where are we? Ian, those buildings in the US are called sheds. Yeah, we have sheds for putting your garden equipment in and things like that. Because right, and as your muse says, if it really gets bad. All right. Gail is confirming that MN is Minnesota. Didn't know that. Gail again is saying, yes, there's always a way to deal with it, Azure. And Azure says, if that's a word. But that's as close as I can get to it. So, and then Azure says rags. And then Gail says, right, Ian, I had to use cloth diapers for my son. Yeah, people, it was just a common thing that people used, weren't it? Nobody thought twice about it before the convenience of diapers came along.
Okay, I'm going down the paint burger from the Pebio or Pebio. I don't know how you say it.
Well, I'm expecting quite a few because in April I'm going to step up my April acrylic painting a bit. I'm not doing the challenge that is going on, but I probably will do a lot more acrylic painting. I've got a bag full of acrylic paints that I very rarely use, so it's time to use it, or it'll all dry up eventually. I was surprised last year that it weren't dried up.
I put things for this passbook thing in a separate bag. Make them easier to get to.
As you muse
from Walmart are great.
As your muse is just giving me some breaking news. Pets can't get it. Well, there have been, whether it might have been false news. There's been a lot of things said that according to Azure Muse, pets can't get it. I don't know why. They have a similar respiratory system, and they're not half as strong as what your ones are. But depends. So it kind of makes me think of modern day plague. Well, it is, because at the end of the day, but then again, even the plague war sussed out eventually. It took them ages to figure it out, and what have you, but the thing is, the more potent and the faster all this spreads, the quicker it burns out.
Yeah, but the problem is if they can slow it down, it will protect the hospitals from it will keep hospitals be able to manage.
But is that more to do with people's profit margin being cut, or is it more to do with actually saving lives?
Well, it's saving lives because the hospitals, we only have 1 million hospital beds, I think, in this country.
1 million?
And this could affect 30 million.
Potentially, yeah. See, I mean, thing is with this is there's no known actual antibiotics or whatever for it at this moment in time. So there's no an hospital can actually do for you, other than put you in an isolated environment. And I know here in UK, it's one of world's like centres for tropical diseases and things. And they're looking into all that stuff now, you know, splicing all genetic code and all that sort of stuff, what they do. So, but rolling out any kind of antibiotic for it or whatever they produce for them ain't going to be around for a while yet. What we got? Do we talk about some jolly stuff?
Yeah, we don't want to get down.
No. At the end of the day, I mean, best case scenario, we don't get it and we get on with our lives and we learn from it. There you go. That's another way of looking at it, into it.
I'm going to add some goldens, iridescent bronze. And I'll do it on the split end of my card. Yeah, what have y'all been doing art-wise?
Well, I've embarked on a year-long, what would you call it? A pilgrimage. An art pilgrimage to... I want to do a certain number of paintings, but I want to make sure that I'm doing it to a consistent standard on a regular basis, because I'm finding that I was looking at my art and some paintings were great, loved them, and others were substandard.
What about everybody else? Ian has shared with us. Here, let's use this. Anybody else been doing anything exciting?
Let's have a look, see. Oxygen.
I'm going to use my little printer.
Vicki, as time allows, I've been learning to use colour pencils and working on my second piece. I simply Stargazers, Lily, and that's Gail.
I love color. Well, there's not an art medium that I don't love.
And as your muse, she says she's playing with pencils. Now, whether that's colour pencils or graphite, I don't know.
She's probably talking about colored pencils.
I've got to say, I've been doing a lot more colour pencil work. Much as I love it, it just takes up a lot of time. It is very intensive.
All right, I'm going to call this page quits.
Here we go. It's a Gustav Klimt. Is it Gustav Klimt?
Okay, so that book is done. I'll let that, that page is done. Then we've got, I'll probably fall on the floor. Now I've got my next one, which can use some scraps
Mm-hmm.
that I used on those 2 pages.
Gail's saying, very nice, Vicki.
Thank you, baby. And I'm going to...
Oh, that's weird.
I'm going to use a little piece of... No, that's kind of pink. Yeah, I'm going to use a little piece of that. And let's see how we get on.
Gail says, you've got time, always. And then she says, I've been learning to use colour pencils. I'm working on my... Oh, we've already read that bit. It kind of like, I don't know whether it like duplicated them. Weird.
Okay, here are some pieces that I used before. It doesn't have to be pieces from that. I can cover that up. Okay. I don't have a plan. Y'all don't quit talking on my account.
No, it's, they're just a bit quiet. Come on, everybody. Who's here?
My thought process as I start this is I'm looking at color. Pieces that might go together. I'm going to cover up this mustard color. And then, I don't know, we'll go from there. Another of Robyn's.
Azul Muse says there are new sets out of Skira Fabanen. This is a new set of 93. They upgraded their other 72 set and it was cheaper. So I bought them for my B-Day. That's a funny thing to put in a B-Day. So anyway,
perfect trim. Needs to go there.
Well, a lot of crafters have those curly whirly ones, don't they? Those straight edges that are curvy, and they use them to like tear a mottled edge.
That's why it gives you can't tell it really.
No.
But it's there, and it makes it just a soft enough edge to make it easier for them to meld together. That's what I'm trying to say.
Apart from when you put in a piece of watercolor paper in front of a mat, right?
Right.
I never really get why watercolorists want a mottled edge.
I love it.
It does look nice, yeah, but what's the point if you're putting it behind a mat?
No, I don't always put them behind the mat. Sometimes I float them, like mount a piece of
on the top, yeah.
Foam core underneath, not foam core, but something that raises it up off a background, and then frame about this far outside the piece of paper so that all that shows. And if you hinge that piece of watercolor paper, it will shift with the humidity, and it almost makes it look lifelike.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So what's it says, as your muse continuing on with what she was saying about these pencils, it says they're an oil-based colour pencil, very smooth. Well, from my personal research into colour pencils, oil-based pencils are far superior to ones that have got a high ratio of wax. Because all colour pencils are made up of three main elements, aren't they? It's got an element of wax, an element of oil, and an element of pigment in it, and that's how they're all bonded together. Unless they're based round like a graphite, which some pencils are.
The others have clay, the Prismacolor type.
Yeah, clay, yeah. But they tend to be very hard, don't they, and brittle. That's the same process that a graphite pencil has. At the H level, there's more clay in the mix than there is graphite. At the B level, there's more graphite in it than there is clay, and that's why they're softer. What we got next?
It's a library pocket that I made to have on hand, and we're going to use it right here. It echoes.
What you actually? Sorry.
It echoes what's going on with the background paper.
So what exactly are you doing with this?
It's just a
journal.
It's just almost a meditative process.
Just
and it's a way to use that papers that you have.
For sake of creativity.
Yep.
Not a bad
It doesn't have to have a reason. Now, if you wanted to, you could take this and let's see, fold this up. It's about right there. And this is just a piece of cardstock I had left over from something else. And my tag maker did that.
I think we need to give Azure a bit of support and help here, because I think she's been on a bit of a creative art and crafts tool purchasing moment, because she says that she's also bought some watercolors and some gouache, but they haven't messed with them yet. It's classic crafters trick that you go out, you buy it, and then you forget that you've bought it, and then don't use it, and then go out and buy it again, and then remember that you bought it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, gouache and watercolor, I'm sure you know by now, but if you don't, you can contact me. Gouache is a matte watercolor, and opaque. You can thin it to make it look like watercolor and make it a little more transparent. But you don't have to, and you can mix them. So that's a cool thing.
I was watching a really good somebody who works in gouache all the time, and he was using an half-inch square brush, and he was creating it. He was using deliberately. You won't call them brush strokes. They were like strokes of direct. The washes were exactly same. You know what I mean? There weren't no shifting any kind of translucency, or it were always flat. But he used that flatness to create three-dimensional space. And it were amazing, because I always find it quite difficult with gouache, getting it to look three-dimensional once you put it down. Because it tends to like flatten everything.
Well, the reason that gouache was used for so long was because illustrators used it, like magazine artists and things like that, because gouache reflects the light back from the camera.
That's it. And
So
the cameras back then, the flash units and things like that, and all the tools that they used were a lot more primitive back then. It won't be an issue these days because cameras can take photos at easily over 1/10,000th of a second, and have a complete exposure. So, but back then, to be able to get an accurate exposure, and they had to do it onto film, and they had to go through all process of messing about with that. It was a chore.
Winsor Newton used to make an illustrator's grade gouache.
Yeah, they did.
I'm not sure if they still do or not, but it's not light fast, and they use a lot of colors that.
Well, I'd use it a lot more if I could find reliable ones that are light fast. I feel
almost all are now. Winsor Newton's. Don't get me wrong. I mean, don't quote me, but I think their new line that is better is called Designer Gouache.
Designer's Gouache.
But it's their better brand. I mean, if you have any questions about them, Schminky and Sennelier both have great gouaches.
Yeah,
and so does whole line, which ought to be easy for you to get.
I know the Schminky gouache, which is artist quality gouache, is ridiculously expensive. For gouache, it is anyway. But then again, their watercolors are not cheap. But then again, they are one of the best quality. They're up there with Daniel Smith's, I would say. Schminky.
Now I could take my label punch and do it again. I'm not. So I've got a back, and it fits right in there. And my colors all kind of blend, so that's good. And I'm determined to use some of my Boro.
So
I've got a little flower piece over here on my desk.
Gail's responding to Azure, saying that she's not familiar with the brand of pencils that Azure were talking about. And Azure says, Gail, I seen someone review pencils, so I was interested. Then I seen the price, I was in. So somebody enabled her.
Yeah.
Some enabler that we don't know. An enabler. So Azure says, well, my fav is gouache and or watercolor. You can mix gouache and watercolor quite successfully.
Yeah, it's the same binder.
It's just got, so all gouache has is it's got something in it to make it so it's not transparent anymore. Probably.
Do you want to know what that is?
Well, if it's cheap, it's chalk. If it's proper good quality, it's generally marble dust.
what the big brands do is they grind the pigment way finer for watercolor than they do for gouache.
Oh, well, yeah.
So it's the size of the pigment that makes it opaque. Your cheaper lines of gouache will put chalk or marble dust or whatnot in there.
Would you be surprised? Would you be surprised to know that that's a similar principle with silver alloy that's used from doing photography? When you when they're doing photography, the photosensitive, they're like little flakes. If you look at them under the microscope, they're like tiny little flakes, and the bigger the flake is, the different color it produces. So it's all down to how much the grind these flakes down, and they have like maybe 18 layers of these silver alloyed flakes, right? And they're each a different size. And as light goes through the paper, it kind of adjusts due to the silver alloy being reacted. And
I never did get into photography.
That's how colour photography is done. It's all down to the silver alloy and how big the flake is.
That's cool. I did not know that.
So it's a similar process to what you're talking about with the
well, that's why artist quality paints cost so much more.
Well, they do say if you look on certain brands, it says fine on it, doesn't it? And yet they might have another brand that's the same company and it doesn't say fine on it, and you think, well, why is that one better than that one? And it's probably down to the fact that they've.
I'm an art snot when it comes to if you want to learn how to paint. If you don't want to learn how to paint, I mean, if you're just doing this for journaling and stuff like that, any brand is good.
Yeah, of course. You could use kids' tempera paint if you wanted to. If you're just doing it because you enjoy the process of creating.
I did this background. Y'all remember last year the fan watercolors and like colors and you fan it out, and I did that with. Used one of those for this background. I think it's pretty. So it just depends. Okay, let's use one of our new.
And again, as your muse says, I really want the Mission Gold pure pigment set. Very expensive. I don't know. I think. Do you think they're a little bit overrated?
I don't have it.
I think there are better options than the Mission Gold. I'd sooner go for a set of core before a Mission Gold set. The thing is, they're so difficult as an individual paint to replace that it will put me off. I'm talking actually, from a UK viewpoint.
You can't go wrong with Daniel Smith.
Well, yeah, in America, obviously, Daniel Smith's is where
it's you're right. I forgot.
If I were to tell you how much it costs to get one small 5mm tube in UK, you probably change your mind.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, £20 hour quoted for one. £20. That's like, let's ramp that up to US dollars. About $30 for a 5mm tube.
Well, I would use Schmincke or Sennelier.
Well, I mean, strangely enough, strange you should say that. I mean, I do use Sennelier, and I use Schmincke, and I actually use another brand that's quite affordable by Royal Talon, and that's Rembrandt's.
They're great. Rembrandt is great.
They're very cheap here. Well, cheap as professional paints are. So yeah, they're really good. I've never had a problem with Rembrandt's. I mean, the other big company in Europe is Old Hollands.
Okay, we've got another spread done.
Yay! So would you call that? Would you call that faux Japanese writing?
Yes. No, Ian, it's real.
I don't do anything like that because I know one of these days I'm going to write something that actually means something, and some Japanese person is, you offended me with what you wrote. What did I write?
Yeah.
So naive I am. So what we got? So I have 5 DS mineral set. Do you know, I don't know whether I'm missing out or something like this, but I'm not right sure what those natural mineral sets bring to the party, to be honest with you, because I can't see how they'd be used within a painting other than something that's not natural, even though they're made from natural substances.
What are you talking about? Daniel Smith?
Yeah, Daniel, the natural mineral sets that you can get.
I like them because they granulate nicely.
Yeah, but they're also very. It's almost like you've bought a paint that's just like made of tinsel on some of it. I don't know. Maybe
well, they're made from natural elements. A lot of cases they're made from rocks.
Yeah.
That are ground, where a lot of our modern pigments are made from artificial, modern chemical type formulas driven by the car companies.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Saying that, do we want to be taking any more stuff out of Earth? I think we've already took plenty enough stuff out of Earth, to be honest with you.
All right. But, this is some wood watercolor that I got in England.
Somewhat.
And the bottle is about empty. There.
What did you say it were?
WOAD.
WOAD.
It's an ancient weed that was gathered and treated and done whatever to they dyed the clothes with. So a lot of the peasants, Guernseys,
wadding
this color. And from woad.org. Anybody wants to know that? I just love the color.
That's I mean, in England in ancient times they used to make an awful lot of clothing dyes from natural, what we now consider to be weeds and things like that. So one that you might be familiar with is Lincoln Gren, which now we say is Lincoln Green, which is what Robin Hood used to wear.
I am a blue person.
And if you were really posh, there were reddish purple colours which were really difficult to make. I've been learning about that actually. How to make madder lake.
Yeah, that's always fugitive, is it not?
It is, yeah. In saying that, you can set it with a salt and use it as a dye.
Huh.
It's no use as a watercolor. I mean, I would not use Madder Lake paint at all.
Chemical really would.
Well, there is a modern version of it anyway now. Yeah. So
like alizarin crimson.
Well, alizarin crimson's only just on borderline light fastness now. The threshold for light fastness is going up all the time now, and things that you think, oh, that's fine, dropping off the scale, and it's all those traditional ones, you know, that are, and maybe like you say, it's because of chemical companies.
Now this little printer has a 5 to 10 year span, but most of this is being used in journals anyway, so you know it's fine.
So Gail's put up a bit of a link for a YouTube video. It says, for those who are trying to decide which brand of professional WC watercolor paint they may want to get, and then she puts a link there.
Okay, thanks, Gary.
And then
thank you.
And then Azure Muse says, I just like the colors, so I got them. There you go. Why not? What we need to learn to do is, when we get them, use them. Because I think as creative people, we buy them, we've got these grand ideas as to what we're going to use them for, and then they end up in cupboard, lingering away until they're no longer of any use to us. So maybe it's time to...
Okay, now who's still with me here? Good. No, I like watching good videos. Azure, what I teach my students is to get the Daniel Smith I think it's called Essentials, and it comes with 5 tubes, I believe. Don't mess me up. I mean, and I think it's around $35, and it's plenty. And that way you'll learn to mix colors so that you don't need a tube for every color you want to use. But they have a beginner set. It's a small tube, but it'll last forever. Well, not forever, but it'll last for all intents and purposes. Oh, here's the coupon code. Don't forget. 107 free printable on the actually.com website. Fun. What time? 5:58. It's late. I'm going to start it anyway. Y'all can kick off anytime you want to. I am squeezing these Caseins right into some watercolors that I already had in this Magello palette.
Now, I don't know a huge amount about Casein, but is it one of them paints that you have to use it straight away before it dries?
Yes, I think so.
So be very careful how much you put out. You got to think of it a bit like acrylic paint.
Exactly. So I did put it in this case because it's airtight, and I'll put a wet wipe in with it when I close it, and that'll give me a little more working time with it.
So that video that that Gail has put forward to us is it's one by Denise in liquid colour, and she's quite good with her colours. She knows what she's talking about, so it will be a good video. That I think I might have seen it. I have actually, yeah. Now I can't get back to where I were.
If Ian and I painted as much as we research, we'd be in a little better condition.
Well, to be frank, at the end of the day, if you think about it, what you see of a duck is its head and a top bit of body, but you see all hard work's being done underwater with its legs, isn't it? That's the reality of learning to paint.
And it's the journey, not the product.
It is.
All right, brushes.
There you are. Oh.
I'm going to use this little panel that came from Denmark. It's a kind of padded.
Won't be a second.
Real quickly here. I'm going to start this, but I may not finish. I'm just going to play with it. I've never used it before, so y'all get to watch me. Get this where y'all can see it. It's real thick. This picture kind of has a sepia overtone to it. It's where I could use some yellow ochre. Yeah, that's good. A little bit of ultramarine, tone that down a little bit.
Where are we?
Oh, it does. It has an odor. That's cool.
Do I believe the dependent on the manufacturer, and there aren't that many manufacturers, but does
I think
that have a
I
smell?
think
That Casein paint?
I think that Shiva is the only brand that makes a pigment in a tube.
I'm going to say I think the only time I've ever come across a paint in Europe is probably I think Sennelier do it, but it's like a special order kind of thing. But it is a very, very rare thing to have it already there. It's one of them things that you make yourself, in it, Casein paint. You get the basic, you get the basic things for it, all the elements, and then you put it together yourself. It's a teeny. Well, you can do that with egg tempera. You can literally make your own egg tempera, but then again, you can also buy it in a convenient tube, already pre-made for you.
Sennelier has egg tempera, I think.
I
think Sennelier has egg tempera.
Yes, Sennelier, yeah, for definite. Because I nearly bought some not too long ago. But I think on one of their obscure pages, they've also got information about how you can go about getting that milk paint as well. But like you said, there's only 1 or 2 places on planet that make it, which is
I
weird.
think that Shiva's the only one, and Jack Richardson owns them. Most of Jack Richardson's products are student quality. Sorry, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping that these aren't. But that's why I got the emulsion.
Well, I mean, if it's the same as the real, milk paint, then it's irrelevant, isn't it, whether they're student quality, because it'll last thousands. Well, if it's proper milk paint, it should last thousands of years. There's paintings that go back to 800s and 900s that have been painted, and the only reason why they're in any form of disrepute is because of the wood that the panels that they painted them on have deteriorated. The paint hasn't, but the wood itself has. So it's very ardent stuff, milk paint. But I wondered whether it could be made with, like modern emulsions and the addition of certain, like milk or something like that. But I mean, even emulsions these days are like based around plastics. So whether the, I don't know. I don't know whether they work right.
Emulsion right here.
The
ingredients.
The paint I like using the most that's very long lasting, but you don't hear a lot about, is enamel.
No, I don't do much. I haven't done anything with it.
Because it's,
I mean, it's a very damp brush.
It's just hard to work with in the sense of cleaning it. Any brush, you've got to vigorously clean it with thinners to clean it up.
I don't think so.
But what enamel? What enamel?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's what we learned. That's what we learned with when we did sign writing, because signs that go outside have to be water resilient and and resilient to outside weather conditions. So that's why they use enamel paints. And when you see proper sign writing paints, they are made of enamel.
Real thick, like jelly.
It does normally, but what a sign writer does to get it to flow is he puts a little bit of terps in it, and it becomes.
I'm talking about this stuff.
And you put it on in thin layers and coats until it's built up like a glaze. So Gail says, Ian, please ask Vicki what substrate she's working on.
This is just a canvas panel that Lena sent me, and it's got a little bit of a cushion, so it's similar to just plain old cheap canvas.
Mm-hmm. Do you find that cushioning helping or hindering, or?
No, I think it's just a gimmick, but you know, I have it, so.
Well, why not use it? The
Right.
problem is having anything at the back of anything else. It's got to be separated and sealed away from it, because in the future, if it disintegrates, it might bleed through to front at painting.
Well, and you do have to use a rigid surface.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't get too thick with it because it'll crack.
Right.
Especially if
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do actually. Yeah. On things like casein and emulsified paints and egg tempera, it has to be on a wood panel, doesn't it? Or
yes.
canvas that's been stretched over a solid panel backing. Yeah.
Here, I don't paint faces by drawing lines. I paint shapes.
Mm.
For example, if you can see, you can't really, but this dark area right there, I'm painting all the same tone, but I'm skipping the lighter areas. So I'm just painting the shape of the dark.
Yeah, find the big pieces first, and all other bits will fall into place.
And her ear is here.
I've been watching Cesar Santos.
I have too.
Do his own. He is a very good artist, isn't he? Doing his self-portrait last couple of weeks, and it's progressed. It's a shame it's not a full-length video, because I'd watch that. But what do you get for these days?
The smell of his paint reminds me of an old-timey barbershop.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember what it reminded me of. It had a familiarity about. Do you know what? And I think that's one of the keys to getting a face right, having a sense of familiarity. If you can portray that over, then you've won half of the battle. Because if you can't link the familiarity of something, then you're going to struggle with rest at painting. Able to rejoice. By Gail. Oh, right. So Gail says it's getting late now here. Says got to go. Thanks, Vicki. And Ian.
Bye, darling. See you sometime.
See, I put a little bit of an American twang in it for you. Bye, y'all.
I got that.
Well, there's only one way of saying it, isn't there, really? If you say it, it don't matter how you try saying it, it's still going to sound American if you say y'all.
You got it.
I don't think there is an English equivalent other than proper English that's you all. And even that would probably not be grammatically correct. It would be all of you. Because we say everything backwards. We're a bit like Yoda. So if you ever want to do a Yoda impression, think English. So what's some of your favourite paper at the moment?
Watercolor paper?
Yes.
I've got a lot of back stock on Fabriano Artistico and Arches.
Right. Do you know they're the same company?
They're what?
The same company.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I did.
And guess who else is the same company as well?
Who?
Saunders Waterford, St Cuthbert's Mill.
I like their paper too.
Yeah. So there's this one big company who owns all of them, but they're all separate companies. But they're all owned by this one big conglomerate that owns a lot of different art companies. You know, like Lyra in Germany.
Interesting.
And
You're very full of this of knowledge.
yeah, I've been doing a bit of research into all this, who owns who, and it's quite interesting.
Well, so far I can say that this is nice to work with.
Mm-hmm. I remember back in before Dela and Ronnie got together, right? Dela were a company, and that's what they did. They
I
made
did not know that either.
they made boards like that for painting on, and they were called Dela boards, and they were the first people to ever make them.
I've got a set of their soft pastels that I love.
Mm-hmm. I still like their what do they call it? Langton Prestige paper.
I was just going to say that's a nice paper.
It's very different to any paper I've ever used ever, and it's a lovely paper. It's vastly overpriced, like all expensive papers are, but it is lovely to work on. It's one of my favourites, that actually.
Now, I'm just this scene and this palette on top of the watercolors that were already there.
So Gail just said, "Oh, that's interesting. Ian didn't know that about milk paint." I see ages ago. Ian, please ask. Oh no, I've said that. Oh, okay. Right. Bye, Gail. You are really talented, Vicki. There you go. And that's
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Soul Reigning Art.
I love it. And this is just an impromptu sketch, so y'all know that.
I mean, that would be considered to be the bones for a full painting, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh.
Getting the big elements in.
Yeah,
And,
since I volunteer or paid for an entry into a magazine, yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, not a magazine, but I did it to get the paint.
You can't grumble. Well, if somebody's offering, I mean, they're not. I know for a fact that they're not cheap. Those paints, because I had a look and
you got 135 for 9, but I don't need any more than came with this because I can fix them.
What is it? It's what is the solvent for it?
Water.
Water. Oh, that's good. Only for so long until it dries, though. It's an ancient version of acrylic paint, really, isn't it?
It dries really, really fast.
Although the one element that acrylic paint has over milk paint is that it's what they call it. With acrylic, you can layer it a lot heavier than what you can with milk paint.
Yeah, because it's plastic.
Well, it were made to mimic oil painting, weren't it? That was its original intention. Have the ability to work like watercolor with regards cleaning up and it, but
I'm thinking milk paint was before oil paint.
oh yeah, of course it were. Yeah, it several hundred years, if not more.
Yeah. Okay.
Oil paint really started 13, maybe 1400s.
Yeah, and then
Mid Renaissance.
it took till the 1800s for Winsor Newton to figure out how to put it into a
tube.
Yeah, pig bladders.
Were they the first company that did that?
Yep.
Or were there some companies in? I know there were like artisan companies that don't exist anymore, but the one company we know of that still exists were Winsor and Newton, and they were one of the first people to put it in a convenient thing like that, weren't they? That we know of today. But I know you could go to like a local person who would make it for you. But
well, that's all the old masters had.
Yeah. If you sorry, go on.
They had apprentices who would go to the chemist every morning and then grind and make the paint for the day.
Yeah. Literally, well, it were on demand, weren't it? But some companies specialised in doing that for, if you were in an area where there were a lot of artists, they all like gathered together in one community kind of thing. Some people like set themselves up specifically to do that. And they made a good living out of it, to be frank. I tell you what, I've been stalking last few days, a fountain pen, a Japanese Fude fountain pen, and I think I'm going to get it next few days. See if I feel flush, and I'll probably see if I can get that.
Well, so far I am really enjoying this paint.
Would you say acts in a gouache kind? It looks to me like you're painting a gouache painting.
See how matte it is?
Yeah. Does it go on slightly? Does it go on slightly heavier than a gouache?
Yes. It's a little gooier.
Right. Can you take it right down to the watery level and transparent? Can you do transparencies with it?
It's a beautiful color, isn't
it? Just on the subject of pastel-y things, I've just put an order in for what is it? White Knight's new set of 9 pastel watercolors. So they're deliberately opaque, but they are watercolors. So that I would assume is because they've got a lot of white pigment in them.
Probably. Oh, they'd have to.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. So I'm going to see how that works. I'm not a person who would use pastel colours normally, and I can't see how where it other than on your skin maybe or something like that. But I'll have to see whether it works okay, because you can give it a try. If it don't, then you don't use them, do you? Let me just see if I can I'm just Oh, could that be it?
And you can see the
No, Bellamy Jackson's. Oh yeah, that's what I was telling you. Some paints that I like using. Chanelier, but because I'm in the UK, there's a company called Jackson's.
yeah, we've got one here.
Yeah.
They have a branch here in America.
Well, it's become very popular, hasn't it? It's one of the world's largest distributors of art supplies anywhere.
They've got some good.
Oh, they do. I've got to say, I buy from them on a regular basis. Now, they have their own brand of watercolor paint, and I've got to say they are very, very good. Guess why?
Because they're probably made by Scenario.
Yes, they are. And you know what? They're about half the price, and you get twice as much paint.
The American brand Cheap Joe's is made by Da Vinci Paints, which is a really good brand, a United States brand, I should say.
Oh, is Da Vinci a unit? I thought it were Japanese, not
Nope.
or Asian Da Vinci. Nope. I really find it really funny. I find it really funny that they make watercolor paints and call them Da Vinci.
The original family came from Italy, and the story goes, yeah, they were trained there. So,
what, in Italy?
Family stories on their website.
All right. Okay. So the actual family are called Da Vinci.
That I don't know.
Because if it's Da Vinci in the sense of Da Vinci, then he never touched a watercolor in his entire life. But in saying that, they could have found people who, Italian watercolor artists. Just a bit strange.
Got her looking like a geisha girl.
She does look a little bit like that, with your hair up and what they call that girl who used to put bananas and fruit in her hair. Don't know. South American lady, weren't she?
Yeah.
Oh, she was a famous actress in Hollywood and that. Late 1930s, early 1940s, something like that. What do they call her?
It's right on the tip of my tongue too.
But that was the style back then when that photo was took. People were probably copying her. Because there's a lot of images around that are very much like that. Unless she saw popular culture and thought, I'm going to copy that, and just made it famous. You never know, do you? No. I'm going to have to look it up.
Miranda,
something like that. Is it? It might be. I bet somebody gets to it before I do, because I'm the slowest internet searcher on planet.
gotta have some. Perfect.
I'm getting every image on the planet other than the one that I'm looking for. Yeah, Carmen Miranda.
Oh, good. I was close.
Yeah, you weren't far off. Carmen Miranda. Why did I not remember that? Dear me.
Because we're all getting older.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Well, this paint is a winner.
Really?
So now
So
I just got to paint something for competition.
So what you need to do is use it in several different. I would imagine it's multifunctional in the sense that you can paint it thick and opaquely like that, and you can also paint it in a semi watercolor kind of
Yeah, but why? I mean, I've got
wash
watercolor.
and layer. But with it being an emulsion, I don't know how it would react. I think the with emulsions, it has a tendency to want to like lay flat and even. Oh, yeah. So with this competition that you've got to enter, is there some sort of entry fee?
Yeah, $50.
Oh,
So,
stinging tail.
yeah, that's why I quit competing. But I got $150 worth of stuff. So
Well, you're making $100 on that then, aren't you? Did you check to see whether that what actual value were
yeah,
sell? And that's how much it is.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, because some companies are sharp enough to say, "Oh, we're going to send you $150 worth of gear," and it's probably only worth about $20, and then get you to be going a competition that's, you know the scams that some competitions
Oh
have.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't tend to go into competitions. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the chat's not working, but it don't look as though there's anybody there now. So
We still got some people with us.
I don't know because I can't see YouTube at the moment because I've got I've
Okay.
got I've got StreamYard up and I've got
Okay.
the chat.
Hi, Gail. Yeah. Thanks, Rachel. And for a new medium, I'm happy with this.
Mm. There you go, as yours still. It's just it didn't move for a while. It might have been. You know what? It's been a bit clunky last couple of weeks. YouTube for me, my experience. So I've had to battle with it. I wonder if they use something like that to aquatint photographs at one time of day.
Yeah, that was what I started out talking about, painting this label stuff.
Mm. A friend of mine used to be a professional aquatinter. And they used to, I mean, take the photo and make it look like a proper colour photograph. But I like them when they're done in a slightly naive way, you know, where there's like just rosy red cheeks and some semblance of pink over it to represent the. It's just got a charm about it that's. I like them like that. Well, you'll be glad to know the wind has dissipated, because last day and a half it's been like unbelievable. It really has been extremely windy.
I'm liking it
Mm-hmm.
as a medium. I think I like it better than gouache.
It don't look that dissimilar to gouache. From where I'm seeing it here, it's got that gouache kind of grittiness, if you know what I mean.
It's easier to layer.
Really?
Because, yeah.
Yeah, because
So it's not as water soluble as gouache.
no, I suppose dependent on how much you water it down will depend on how much more it lifts back up.
Yeah, see, this was where it was real thin.
Yeah.
You see the spots and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how much working time do you feel that you get with it?
You can go back into it. As long as it's fresh, but then after, say I came back to it a week or two later, I would have to use alcohol on a Q-tip or ammonia to get something off. You know, to get remove something. I'm trying to say
to get it liquefied again.
But why can't you just paint over it? I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, you got to look at it from an acrylic viewpoint. Once it's there and it's dry, you can just paint over it because it's so opaque. You can alter any mistakes you might have made by just going directly over it, which is another bone.
I'm sure that
I wonder why something like this didn't become the dominant. Well, it were a dominant painting tool for many centuries. Why would something like watercolor come along? And in saying that, watercolor has got the transparency effect and all that sort of stuff, and the flowiness. Do you feel it flows very well?
more like oil paint.
Like more gelatinous?
Yes.
Right.
Very much more.
Yeah. I mean, it's all a big learning curve for me, this, because I have seen it. The only time I've ever actually seen it in real terms is it being sprayed on a wall, and that one milk emulsion.
I'm just playing here till I decide what else I'm going to do. So I got to get rid of that 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh, that's what I was looking for. I found a really nice Windsor and Newton. An old. I went into one of our. It's like a home improvement kind of shop, but it has a section. It has a section in it.
It is
Uh,
velvet
that,
azure. I'm answering Azure. She said it looks milky. Well, I mean, what'd you say? It looks.
says that paint looks lovely,
Yes, velvety.
velvety. I mean, for me, something that's velvety, it's neither high gloss nor matte. It's that semi-gloss uh, feel, isn't it? It's like a muted gloss. Does it look
I think it's
like
just totally flat. Now the wet areas are shiny,
yeah? Well, they will be because the wet, but
but there is not a bit of
when
sheen.
it's dry, it's totally matte then.
Yeah.
One other thing that you'll have to test it against is what's the best thing to protect it with, i.e., should you varnish it? Should you leave it as it is?
I
The
think
one thing,
I read you could finish it.
yeah, I think there is actually a milk varnish, isn't there?
Probably.
I wouldn't use the modern solvent-based varnishes on it
What
because
I read,
it could rip it up.
they recommended using spray.
Really? What, like a car spray?
Like Krylon varnish.
Right. Mm. So how did you get to know about this then, with regards to the competition and being sent there? Did you reach out to them?
No, I'm on their mailing list, and I've done the family.
Uh-huh.
So knowing them didn't have anything to do with it, but um, I'm just playing over here.
Mm. Yeah, I've long wanted to have a go with some of those, but I've never got around to doing it.
Well, now that
So
you buy the emulsion, you don't have to buy the paints.
it's just getting hold of a reputable company that will provide them for me on a regular basis, without it being an
Well,
arm and leg.
so now yeah, it does. So you're in good shape.
Well, I know for a fact that they do the. Well, I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, I wonder if it'd be just as easy just to get all the Sennelier pigments and just make your own milk emulsion.
That's
And
kind of
then,
expensive. I mean, if you could use watercolor and add the emulsion to it, I'd probably try that.
but would that be an actual genuine? Um, would that be a real genuine milk emulsion by just adding watercolor to it? I don't
You're
know.
adding you're adding the milk emulsion to gum arabic, basically.
So it's got.
Uh,
Does it say that it has gum arabic in it?
no,
That's
he didn't
that,
say.
that's that's the binder. Well, it probably will do on the actual tube. It'll say what its constituent parts are.
Let me.
Um,
Yes.
because for it to be legitimate in USA, it's got to tell you what it is.
Well, it's got pigment information, so that's good.
Oh, that's it. Did it
Nope,
say
that
anything about? Did it say anything? I mean, we've already said that they last for thousands of years. These paintings,
no,
but
that's
does it say
fine.
anything about light fastness at all?
Oh, yeah, it did. light fastness 1.
Right.
So I think that depends on which way they're going with their.
Well, if it's the American Standard thing, I forgot what the organisation's called. The American Standard Institute.
ASTM, yeah. AS.
One is generally the highest light fast on their code of conduct.
Well, then there you have it.
Which would be reasonable because we know already that milk paint can last for thousands of years. There's paintings in various parts of the world where they've done them in milk paint and they're still all, you know, the colours are as good as what they were when they were first painted. So
just depends on the quality of the pigment, the starting of pigment.
Well, yeah, it helps if your pigment's a good, strong pigment, but the thing that holds it together as a solid mass is the actual the emulsified milk. It's really strong. It's the next best thing you can get to enamel. Although that's a glass. It's a liquid glass. But don't they use what about paints like that get put onto porcelain and then they get fired? Aren't they emulsions?
Don't get me lying. I had her nose too short, so I'm going back in and altering it.
Now, is there a danger with this kind of paint of overworking an area once you've painted it?
No, because it's totally dry underneath.
So you can absolutely go over it without it being an issue.
Just like oil paint.
Right. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's looking better. Better.
Problem is with a lot of paints is you can work a piece and go, oh, I don't like that, and then go over it and work it again and again. And by the time you've got it to where you want it, it looks overworked, doesn't it? So you have to be incredibly careful with a lot of paint, especially acrylics. I find that I overwork acrylics dreadfully. But then
you
again,
can still go back.
Oh yeah, you can. I mean, literally, if you wanted to, you could get some gesso and just go straight over it. But well, in saying that, I mean, there's a lot of the master paintings that they scanned them, and at the back of the paintings, there's another painting that were rejected originally.
Right.
So even masters did that, did a painting and thought, no, it's not working. Let's try another way of dealing with this. In fact, famously, the Mona Lisa has one at the back of it.
I got that backwards.
Oh. Another thing that contributes to those old photographs is the way they used to set lighting up.
Yeah, I don't like the lighting on this photo. I'm usually more careful.
It is a little bit flat, That.
It is. It is. I'm having to
Uh,
mess around with the.
mm. I mean, I'm a bit more a Rembrandt kind of
Yeah, I
liking.
am too. It's really easier to
What?
paint. This light sitting here about right here, which it should be up about right here, that you
I,
can shadow on her nose.
it may not have been a set up photo. It may have been like a spur of the moment thing, and they didn't have the light set up. But
Uh,
it's too front on for me. That.
I think it's a showgirl thing because this is vintage.
Yeah, I mean, she might have been like a, one of not the main dancer, but another one in the background. They say, "Oh, let's take your photo, and you can use it as merch." You know,
I'm
sell
not
your
sure they
photo.
did that in the 20s.
Hmm? Oh no,
I'm not
well,
sure they did that in the 20s.
uh, they will have had people will have like it, little photos that you could collect of people who worked on the Broadway um, theatre scene, and they didn't necessarily have to be the headline act.
Yeah.
They go to a local photographer and say, "Take me some, nice photos for." And they were almost like business cards as well. So look, well, this is what I do. You know, and they go around the various venues and say, "Oh, look, I'm a showgirl. Put me in your act." And if they
Yeah.
were any good, they rose to the top, didn't they?
I wish y'all could smell this. It's really nice.
Do you know what I've recently found that I like the smell of um, Pebeo white gouache. It's got like this like lemony kind of smell.
Hmm.
I don't know what it is, but it's got a really nice lemon smell. I don't know whether it is lemon,
This
but
is very gelatinous. Well, that doesn't look like ultramarine D.
no, I mean from where I can see it, it looks more like um, a cobalt blue.
This one's cobalt. This one's dark. But
Yeah. Oh,
look at me
right,
hit.
right. Well, that one to the right hand side does look like cobalt.
Yeah,
The
this one.
the one further on looks like
This
ultramarine,
is
but a darker version. And then the one further on from that, not that one, the one.
Look at this. Look at this, Ian. I
Uh,
think this tube is not good. It's like gelatin.
well, that's the way it goes, though, isn't it? It is an emulsion, so it will turn into some sort of like jellified state. Uh,
You
I
got a little
wonder,
bit.
I wonder whether you could mix that in with gelatine and use that as like an expander.
I don't know if you would.
Make a bowl of gelatine, clear gelatine, uh,
There's what I'm at.
and paint with that rather than water. With that as your other thing, if you know what I mean, as your thing that creates the colour. That'd be interesting to have a look at that. Because if that's what it's doing, if it's jellifying, then there's a possibility that you could manipulate it with gelatine.
I think I'll have enough fun just playing like this.
Mm.
Yeah, that works. I love that smell.
I know you've only had it for a short while, but do you think there's an ultimate substrate for it to work on?
Panels.
Do you think it would work okay on a firm watercolor paper?
Yes. And I think I am about ready to quit because I need to let me mess with that skin tone a little bit. I'm about ready to quit.
Well, it's good for practice, isn't it? So, you know, and getting yourself used to what it is not capable of doing.
Right. And I need more white, but I'm not going to put any out.
Do you think it's going to be one of them things where the one paint that you're going to use a lot of is white?
Yes, that's why I ordered a bigger. I ordered an extra tube for paint.
Yeah, so it's like quite a few paints. It's quite reliant on white, isn't it?
Yes.
But that's the case with a lot of paints. So are you planning on having a go with egg tempera?
Not now, because that's back into what I've been trying to. That's not a loose medium. Egg tempera is
No, it's very, very highly detailed, isn't it?
Yes, very small brushes, cross hatching.
It's almost perfect for pointillism, isn't it?
Yes, lots of cross hatching and that sort of thing.
Building up layer after layer after layer, very slowly. Yeah, and there are some great egg tempera paintings, but I'm just glad we just don't do that anymore.
I'm fiddling around. It's time to quit.
Stop! I'm going to make you stop now because.
Okay.
That's my one of the things that I'm making myself do this year. Stop fiddling and stop. Because the more you start fiddling, the more you want to get done. And then it becomes out of control, and then you make a mess of it.
She's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. Finish when you're 95% done.
I don't know how many we've got left, but I appreciate everybody that stayed. Andrew, good luck with your stuff, and don't hesitate to call me or, private message me if you have any questions.
And you know where I am.
Yeah, because all of us are ready and willing to help. All right, guys, I'm signing off now. I love you. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Ian. I appreciate it.
No problem,
Bye.
All right. See you later. Bye.